what I was
Yeah,
gonna
that means you
say.
practiced it in your head what you were gonna say.
All right,
That's what
I've
that
hit the
means.
button. We should be live on YouTube now.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let it play out, and I'll give you a countdown.
Sure.
20 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Oh, 7-star citizens, welcome to Answer the Call. And if you found yourself here, it's for one of two reasons. Either you are stuck in a queue on Helldivers, or you're constantly refreshing your servers to find an Idris. I am here with Mike. How you going, Mike?
I'm good. I'm good. And yeah, in case you guys don't know what Answer the Call podcast is, we're a podcast where you guys can call in to the show, answer the call, and talk about whatever we're talking about today. We're definitely going to be talking about some big updates in Star
Mhm.
Citizen. I did something there, right? The Idris is big, distribution centers are big, master modes is a big change. So
You're so proud of yourself that you were like, the
I said it
distributions,
earlier.
they're large. They're
They're
actually
big.
physically large.
Yeah. So when I say big updates, it's not, or I should have said massive because massive's the meme.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I might change everything for the actual YouTube video and call it massive because it's such a stupid meme that people get mad about. So I always do it now. But
yeah.
yeah, what do you want to open with? Because there's a lot to break down. Do we want to do the
Yeah.
most dramatic things first, or do we want to like get through the little stuff first?
I think yeah. Let's very quickly rattle through the little stuff because you
Okay.
guys will hopefully already know what the big things are going to be and what pretty
Yeah.
much I assume every caller is going to talk about today.
Idris,
So
Idris,
the
Idris.
first, exactly, the first really small thing, CitizenCon officially announced. If you didn't know, it's
Mm-hmm.
at Manchester. I think it's the 20th and 21st of first of October. So that was a really tiny one.
19th.
It might be 19th. Yeah,
Because I just
it's
remember
that weekend.
specifically the 18th was the big special
Oh,
event that
like
you'll
the
pay
yeah,
so much money for, and everyone's gonna get mad because they didn't get it.
yeah. So yeah, that was a small one. We had a medium-sized one, which we'll probably talk a little bit more on, which was the roadmap roundup. So some
Hmm.
more things have gotten added to 323 with Arena Commander. Some
I
very
think
exciting
that
things
is
for Mike
not
and I. So
medium.
compared to the other topics, I think it is.
I think that okay. You want to know what's funny? I think the two biggest
Sure.
updates are the roadmap update and
Mhm.
the sneak peek.
True. I did forget about the sneak peek. I
Yeah,
did.
the
Do
sneak
you have a
peek.
graphic?
I will bring it up. The sneak peek
Okay. Yeah.
is insane.
Yes.
There's so
Yeah.
much there.
Yeah. So some
I'm
cool things
bringing it
there.
up.
The
I'm bringing it up.
Sorry, you're showing me a Phillips head screwdriver right now on Discord,
Uh,
which is interesting.
The Aurora looks like
Um,
a Phillips head screwdriver. That's why that's there. We were discussing what the Aurora looks like. You will
yep.
not unsee it anymore. It looks like a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm gonna bring up the distribution center
Yeah,
and then
yep.
I'll fix that or
So
whatever.
while you're bringing that up, yeah, I'll just talk quickly on the Arena Commander stuff, and we'll come back to that as well after you get the image up. The
I got it.
Yeah, so four things got added. We've got engineering 323 Arena Commander. It's coming. We knew that it was going to come in Arena Commander, but now it's like a cool, sweet. Yeah, you are
But we
targeting it
didn't
for
know it.
323.
Yeah, we did not know it was coming in 323 because like
Yeah, yeah,
that was not a I they targeted Q2 and we didn't know if they meant
yeah, yeah.
Q2 for the actual live release it, or
Yeah,
the
like
Arena
are we
Commander
talking a
release.
Q2 patch or are we talking actual Q2? Right? Like
It was
those are two
very
very different things.
yeah. So we didn't
Yeah.
really know what they meant by that, and well, now we kind of do.
Yeah, so it should be exciting to see that.
Mhm.
The one that was really big for me from that whole update was the private servers
Yep.
are still on the cards and targeting for 323 now,
Hmm.
which just the whole like section was really interesting because we've been talking about for the last like month or two about the redistribution of the Arena Commander features team from Arena Commander to PU, but there are still things coming in Arena Commander that are relevant, and it's not just maps. So is that going to slow down? Are we going to get more stuff like that? I don't know, but either way, definitely going to be excited for this patch. So
Okay.
yeah,
You want to talk? I mean, we will talk for at least 5 minutes on the sneak peek. You want to go
Okay.
to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
It won't be. I'll try to keep it short. Okay, I will be
Sure.
like the callers. We'll try to keep it short. But why? There are very subtle things that are very interesting here.
Yeah.
Lots of them. What is
Okay.
the first thing that sticks out to you?
Well, obviously it's the floor of the hangar. It looks like
Yeah.
it opens, and so
Yep.
presumably your ship comes through it. Is what I would
Yes.
imagine. Like this is not a freight elevator. This is a full hangar.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So that's what I would assume. I can tell that there's something in the top left there, but I have no idea what it is.
Freight elevator.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
I think the biggest thing is, believe it or not, the fact that it says Aero View Hangar. The
Sure.
second very close biggest thing is that the floor opens, right? Where you're no
Yep.
longer going to have a ship pop in. They had to come up with that solution because you were going to be in your hangar when you spawn your ship. And they never wanted it to pop in. So it is going to pop in underground and it is going to appear up, is what it looks
Yep.
like from here. Could that be eventually a place where you repair your ship, where you do more Elite Dangerous-y type things? Maybe that would be awesome, right?
Mhm.
But for me, actually, the biggest thing is that this says Aero View Hangars. And
Why is that the
this,
biggest thing?
because every time you buy a ship or a game package, you
Mhm.
get a specific hangar based on a specific ship. So this is starting to
Right.
tie things personally to you, to your
Mhm.
account. I own an AeroView hangar. These are the hangars I'm going to see. We know the hangars are going to be instanced. So the interior of the hangar technically can look any way you want it to. It doesn't have to be tied to the location that you're in anymore and be the Orison hangar or the New Babbage hangar. It's your hangar, is what this is telling
Yeah.
me. Now, will the asteroid hangar be at those locations? No, but it does seem to me like you might have the option to have the Selfland, the industrial hangar. I can't
Mhm.
remember the name of that one, or the Aero View here, right? So
Yeah.
those kind of things might be really cool. So that ties
Yeah.
into, they might just have the image for now, or they might just have the
Mhm.
text there for now, and this is at Microtech, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But the intention shows there. And then the only other thing is that little on the left side, the in view left side, not the top left.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm assuming all that's static. I don't know what you think. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to interact with any of that,
Yeah. No, I think it looks a bit more like just set dressing, kind of like we have in the hangars now, just in the
which I
corners.
hate. I
You don't like
want
set
my
dressing?
I want my
Like I want
hangar
to be able to move them,
empty.
but
I want my hangar empty,
empty. Okay.
and I want to
That's fair.
make that area what mine. Is it my
Yeah.
personal hangar or is it Chris's hangar? Right? Did Chris decide that the boxes look that way? I don't care what he wants. I want what I want. It's mine, my own,
Yeah.
my precious. So,
Yeah.
yeah, big thing, the floor, and very exciting.
Do you think, just because of based on where we are in presumably the patch cycle, do you think this is a 323 sneak peek, or is this later?
100% 323.
Okay.
It has to be. Unless freight
I don't think it
elevators
necessarily
completely
has to
fall
be.
off.
Well, I think because freight elevators are disconnected to like your ship spawning stuff,
Excuse
but
me.
I imagine it uses
Unless
the same.
personal hangars completely fall off. Sorry, I misspoke.
Sure. Right. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's reasonable.
Because
I
that's
think
what
an
this
important
is.
thing. Yeah, I think an important thing to touch on with this, because this is in the realm of freight elevators, was just also the update that we're not going to be getting vehicle spawning freight elevators in 323. No longer targeting that. So it is the first thing to fall off what they've announced for 323, but it's a relatively minor thing, an exciting thing, but relatively minor thing.
I think it's a huge thing. I think yes, vehicles aren't used in game,
Mhm.
but one of the reasons, like we talked about how awesome it was just a few weeks ago, about
Yeah, no,
now
for
they're
sure.
going to get used, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, I think it is a really big piece of the puzzle because of
Sure.
how, if I played the sound when they announced that this is what you can do, you were there. The roars
Yeah.
were, people want this, so it is a very
Yeah.
big disappointment that it fell off.
I guess I think I mean more that like in terms of features falling off 323,
I didn't do it this
it's
week.
not. Yeah, in terms of features falling off, it's not major enough for me to already lose hope in the patch. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
have not lost hope in the
yeah,
patch, but I am definitely
yeah,
disappointed in that. And now
yeah,
now
yeah,
it's like, so things can fall off. What
yeah.
else is coming? Right? So it's like a
Some
little
other stuff is for sure coming.
yikes,
Yeah.
like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's get that PTU out and have everything in it. Hurry up. So yeah, it's
Well,
here.
speaking of getting PTUs out, the
Yep.
patch release this week,
Yeah.
which is weirdly also probably like one of the smallest bits of news of the entire week.
But also the
322.1
biggest.
is in
Yeah.
live. It's super important, obviously. There's new Arena Commander modes, which is a big deal, and is some of those are going to go on to what we're talking about with like master modes.
Hmm.
Uh, the races are about to start in about an hour time, so that's pretty big. But no massive changes in the PU for it. And that makes sense. It's a point 0.1 patch. You
Yep.
wouldn't expect huge things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing
distortion nerfs. The thing that we didn't talk about last week.
Okay.
Uh,
They're not nerfs though. They're
in what way are
literally
they
not.
not? They're like it's a change that makes them less powerful. It doesn't mean that they're
It's a
garbage.
change that makes
Uh,
shields more powerful.
Sure. That's a very
And
it's a very pedantic way to think of it, though. I think.
yes, but I also think a
Yeah.
lot of people are looking at like, okay, it doesn't um and I don't think having something completely overpowered and
Hmm.
becoming balanced, I don't like the word nerf for that maybe. They were like
Sure.
balanced as
Sure.
well, right? So there's that, and then I think a lot of people are focused on, oh, it only damages the power plant, but the power plant is like the key
Yeah.
piece of the puzzle there. And I think the reason behind that was if the coolers come on after the power, like if the coolers are still damaged while the power plant is on, then things overheat and actually get damaged and get destroyed.
Hmm.
And then therefore, because you were distorted, you ended up with an experience that was never intended in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think that was and I had a dev in the chat when I was thinking that, and they like semi said I was like kind of on it when I made that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not. It's not entirely the reason behind doing it, but that was
Yeah.
part of the reason I think. And we
Hmm.
definitely experienced that in the Idris. So
Yeah.
there was some things with that. So yeah, it was cool. And I think a lot of people were like, "Oh no, distortions," and I don't think it was really like that. I think it was like everybody still used distortions. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's always going to be, regardless of when anything gets balanced, there's always going to be an initial reaction of the sky is falling to any
mhm.
type of balance. You got to give it a couple of days, right? Before people are sort of like, oh, whatever, sure, it's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Um, is
What
that
do you
all the
want?
small stuff, or like
Uh,
smaller stuff?
I'm thinking. I mean,
There was just so many
a
things.
lot of Master Modes Arena Commander stuff,
Yep.
but I think we talked a lot about that last week because that was all stuff that
Yeah. Yeah.
was in the PTUs but are now in live.
Hmm.
Then sitcom we got very very small, but a lot of people were. We could touch on this when we talk about ISC, but a lot of people gave Yogi some shit on Spectrum, and then Richard Tyrer came in and sort of put the shield in front and defended,
Yep.
but also with that defense mentioned researching uh blueprints,
Yes. Yeah. 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 So yeah, I
researching
saw this.
blueprints. So
Yeah.
like maybe you find
There was
them,
like,
but you also research them. So that was like,
yeah. Yeah, it
tell
was a
me
big
more.
call of like people saying. I think this specific thing was people were like, "Oh, well, Master Modes isn't tailored for like,
I'm
you know,
hearing
the
the same
industrial
thing.
players, whatever, whatever." And then yeah, Rich Tyra being like, "Well, actually, here's all the amazing things that we're looking at, working on for that aspect, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it was a lot of information that they just haven't talked about much. I mean, the first real talk about crafting, more than just like a random word, was at CitizenCon, and
Hmm.
this is that we obviously don't know what they're planning, but it really does sound like they are starting to fully plan whatever they want to do with the blueprint system and stuff. And I imagine that's because they've started working on the concepting of
Base
bases now.
building?
Like they
Yeah.
should be in it now, right? Like the concepting should have begun now. So
Q1. That should have
yeah, they said
started,
they were working on Q1. So
yeah, this month slash the beginning of last month, or the end of last month,
yeah.
because they were done with the planning or whatever, hopefully. So yeah,
hmm
I thought that was like a little thing to
What's a
note.
big thing for us? How many times in the last like couple of months have we been like, oh man,
Yeah,
crafting?
but
Once crafting comes out,
no,
oh
no,
crafting.
it's big. I just mean like a little. It was
Yeah.
just like a little Spectrum post that you may not have noticed, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
outside that, I think I'm ready to get into the big stuff.
All right. Do we want to start with ISC just because it might be a bit fresh in your mind because I know you just watched the A1 video.
Yes, and I also think it's
Yep.
not a big thing. So that I consider as one of the smaller things that happened this
Sure.
week. But to
Sure.
be
Well,
perfectly
yeah.
honest, yeah.
We got an ISC that was a uh I guess a talk about the clarification and how the testing has been going about master modes, but
Hmm.
also the first ISC we got on precision targeting, which is something that we only saw at CitizenCon, and
Yes.
that was it. There was pretty much nothing else about that until this week.
And it
So
was a
yeah.
very limited uh I think in comparison to what we saw in this
hmm
ISC, I think it was much less than what they should, or much more than what they showed at CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Um, actually, this isn't a very good clip of it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you can see that all of the components like light up, as in like the engines, and presumably there's some other components in there. I think the turrets light up, from what you can tell under the overlay, and
Only
then you aim for them.
turrets and engines. So
Yeah,
I would
which
be
I
I
guess that
would
makes
be
sense.
it makes sense for now because we don't have
Yeah,
physicalized components on all ships. But I think it is absolutely worth noting that it was only engines, no power plant, no cooler, no shields, because those were available in the original. Like I could select
hmm
like sub targeting that they had, and that's not available now. That's okay for now. But you got to hope that that will be something that is part of the future, right? I thought that the way
I
they
don't.
display it is good. You got to be able to
Yeah,
target people's shields. That's
but in the majority of cases, or at least the way that it's worked now, the majority of cases with larger ships, all of those components are on like the literal very most internal part of the ship, so you wouldn't be able to target them anyway. That's not the case necessarily with a lot of the fighters that have since gotten physicalized components. That's also not to say I don't think you shouldn't be able to target shields. I just think you'd have to do it a different way because where the components are doesn't necessarily make sense with how you would fight them in this mode.
they have always stated that bullets would penetrate through ships and hit. Now, this is one of those
Mhm.
you promised me 45 years ago, and it might not actually be the case,
Yeah.
but that's why I think it's worth calling out because for some of the old frogs that may not have remembered or people that are more new, that is
Mhm.
something that they communicated that they wanted at some point, and it is worth noting that you do not see it here for now. It may come in the future, but
Yeah.
this is very, very, very cool, I think,
Mhm.
especially the ability to shoot off a turret and their discussions
Yes.
around that. I thought that that was very, very neat.
Yeah. I like how it works as well. You're obviously the way that it zooms in, you're essentially sacrificing a bunch of your vision as well as maneuverability while you're doing that, just by in just states of like where you're looking. But
Not,
you also lose, I believe they said fire speed.
yeah,
Your
fire
fire
rate.
speed goes down when you're in the your fire rate goes down when you're in this mode. Also relevant, and it was sort of part of the whole discussion on the ISC as well, about everything becoming gimbaled. The way that precision targeting mode works is you do aim at where you want to shoot, but the bullets should go where you want them to
They'll
shoot.
nudge
The
them.
gimbals will do it for you. They'll
Yeah.
autocorrect.
Hmm.
What do you think of the UI? Because I've heard a lot of complaints,
It's developer UI. There's nothing to complain about.
but specifically the like
The circle?
having the glow of the modules. I've been hearing people complain about.
Why would you? How do you want to be able to see these things?
People
Uh,
want to, well, at least a lot of the people that I saw, and I don't agree with them, were saying that they don't want the game to like handhold them of where the position of those modules are, and I just
Oh,
disagree.
bro,
I think it's
that's
super
not
relevant to see them.
that's not new player, like that's not like casual player friendly enough. That's way
Yeah,
too sweaty to have to know exactly the position of an engine on a specific ship. Like some
yeah,
ships are very obvious, but even on this ship it's not, right?
yeah,
So I don't necessarily agree with that at all. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just like a weird immersion Andes, I guess.
hmm
I find that to be super weird.
yeah.
But again, you want people to play this game, right? You don't want to play by yourself, do you? Because you're just going to be doing this against AI if that's your opinion, I think.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah. I don't know. Anything else on precision mode specifically? I mean, the master mode stuff is they basically spent a lot of time talking about old stuff and nothing
Yeah,
like just catching people up on what it is. Because they probably have a lot of new people from SitCon, right?
yeah, yeah. Nothing new. Nothing else new on precision target mode because they just essentially explained this is how it works and just
Mm-hmm.
showed demonstration. That was it, which is fine. We didn't really know how it worked beforehand.
Exactly.
Um, with the master mode stuff, a lot of the conversation was it was about how things had been received and sort of where they're looking for feedback and whatnot. But I would have loved to have heard them talk about how maybe master modes will work with like I've got to imagine engineering is under a type of testing at the moment, only QA presumably, where they have both master modes and engineering, or they have the gunnery V2 or whatever, and just we've got these like important systems that are all coming at different times. How do they look connected? Because it's so hard to know what any of these are like, and to even really give half decent feedback without knowing what those systems are like. And I also feel like it's not like other times where we've gotten features from Star Citizen where like the next feature for that comes out 2 years later. These are all theoretically within a 6 month time frame, and so like let us know where these are.
Yeah. That's like the Star Citizen problem
Yeah,
is how do these things work together? Because they do
yeah.
everything separate. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to see specifically exactly what you said. The engineering
Mm.
tying into master modes, tying into gimbal changes, tying into turret changes, and it's just like, okay, well, this is the game they want to make. Is it fun?
Yeah.
We won't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
until it's there, right? We can assume it
Yeah.
will be, but that's all we have.
Yeah. It's a bit weird though. It's a lot of conversation this week has been about master modes, and like I certainly am not the person to uh, have much authority about it at all. But my only thing has been everything that I've played of master modes in the PvE wave modes has been amazing.
Mm.
And so from that aspect, it's felt easier to play. And what I really want to know is like actual new players that have come in the last year, though especially that are coming in right now and can do like the pirate swarm and stuff. I want to know what they're thinking about the mode and if they enjoy it from a completely neutral standpoint, because
Yeah,
that's the
because
most important thing.
90% of the player base would be considered a new player, whether or not they backed the game in 2013 or now, because
Hmm.
most of the player base is sitting on the sideline,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
yeah. Um, Idris.
Idris, or as we've been calling them, the hunt for the Elbers.
Yeah, dude, the impossible hunt. It is.
Yeah,
It is. They they learned very little from the F8 uh,
yeah,
event, if
yeah,
that's what you want to call it, but the F8 sale. This
yeah,
is obviously a sale is tied to this. Obviously, FOMO is part of the sale, but they don't
mhm,
really need to do that for an Idris, so I don't really understand. They sell
yeah.
out automatically anyway. The
Not
FOMO is
only,
already done.
yeah, not only that, but like if you, so I first off, I do think that this is infinitely better than the F8C event. But it
Why?
was
I think in
because
some ways it's infinitely worse, but yeah.
I hated the way they did the gold ticket.
Hmm.
First off, and the Idris just has less available, and so it's less of an issue. And so the the I guess okay, I'm immediately changing my mind. I guess in the
It's pretty
F8C event,
bad, dude.
you
Yeah.
did get to rent an F8C, right? So you did get
Yep.
to at least experience that vehicle,
Exactly.
whereas here it is much less likely. Um, yeah. No, I changed my
I
mind
asked
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked my chat earlier, what percentage of the player base, like, this is one of the first times where people crying on Spectrum, crying on Reddit are absolutely justified in almost
Mm.
every way. Unless you're crying that, like, I want Idris, give Idris, I deserve it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but you absolutely deserve to participate. And this is a
Yeah.
situation where what percentage of the player base that wants to participate, and that means in a server and get the mission, and then it's on you from there. So for
Mhm.
me, that's what I would consider participation. You are in a server where it's happening, you see the marker, and it's your opportunity to go try to find it and participate there.
Yeah.
What percentage of the player base is actually able to participate that wants to?
Yeah.
I think
It
less
is
than
incredibly low.
10%.
Yeah, for sure.
And how can you ever look at yourself in the mirror as the people who are creating this event and going, great success?
Yeah. I gotta. There's a important clarification. Like, I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I I don't hate the idea of unique rare events that become special to players. But
But what
the
makes
way that
them
this was
special,
done,
right?
the thing that makes them special is that I could have done it, or like I could have worked towards it, but XYZ I wasn't able to, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but what's XYZ in a good example?
what is it? Okay, so if you randomly became upon an Idris and it just happened,
Mhm.
like without any advertising, if this event happened with no advertising until the first person like took over an Idris or whatever,
Mhm.
I feel like first off that would be way cooler in general, and I think the
Sure.
rarity of that event happening would be much better. But the way that Star Citizen is right now, you can't do these events this way. They either need to be more frequent, or you need to not have 100 server like when there's
Cart before the
10,000 people
horse.
playing trying to get this, you can't have 100 person servers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Cart before the
it's
horse.
just yeah. Um it's also I don't understand why this event couldn't be more frequent, because like you could come up with the issue of like, oh well, with the F8C, if it was too frequent, then 50% of the players end up with a free F8C or whatever. That doesn't apply here, because the
No.
way that they're doing the thing is it's just like, well, everyone has a theoretical chance of seeing the Idris, but only one person gets to win it from actually piloting it, right?
And
So that
that
just feels like a non-issue.
Yeah, so the thing on that for me is, how stupid do we think they are? And I don't think you'd think they're stupid. I
No,
don't think they're stupid. So what's the issue here? Because there clearly is an issue. Why wouldn't they run them that often? Is it a marketing thing? Because
I don't think it's a marketing thing.
I don't either.
I don't think this makes enough money to be relevant from that aspect,
Dude, they
even with
were
the
sold
Idrises
out.
they're selling.
Listen, the Idrises were sold out on the first run. The first run, the Idrises went live before anybody saw an Idris in the game. They were
Yeah,
sold out within minutes.
yeah,
In a minute, let's say. It doesn't matter. So they've already created the FOMO that they're looking to create in this scenario anyway. It doesn't matter. So it can't be a marketing thing. The only thing
no,
it could be is a performance thing. But I had terrible frames when everybody was fighting at the same time.
mhm,
But once the ship is gone, what's the problem? Right? So I
yeah,
don't know. Like, the only thing you can put my brain logic to is performance, but I don't think that makes sense either. Because once the ship's dead, why would it be a performance issue? It's cleaned up, it's gone.
mm,
And you're doing it typically out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
So I don't get it at all. What the lack of frequency. So, like, just
And
none of it makes sense.
yeah, I think the biggest thing that sucks about it is so like I watched you and your crew do the event on Friday, whatever day it was.
We're
And it
blessed.
seemed like the best thing in the game ever. Like it seemed like the best
Yes.
way to say is to say this is what Star Citizen is.
This is
This
what
is
this
what the kind of
engine can do.
yep. And this is hopefully what everyone wants for like the end game. Like obviously changes, but like what the end game should kind of feel like
Yep.
eventually. We want it to be like this. And getting to see anyone do that and then no one getting to do that in a PU, specifically a PU, because I don't think the Assault would be anywhere near as much. Well, it wasn't anywhere near as much when it happened in the EPTU. Really sucks. That really sucks. It's just a feel bad. It doesn't do anything for really anyone except for the people that get to experience it.
Yeah, it just makes them
Um,
look stupid,
yeah,
and it sucks because again, during my stream, they looked anything but stupid because we
yeah,
just were fortunate. Like that was like CitizenCon levels of viewership when I looked at my email after because
hmm
nobody could play it, so they wanted to be able to see it. So that was like the pure example of the FOMO going on for everybody there. There were 1,500
yep,
people watching. That's
yep,
crazy because they never got to see this and it was cool. And they're never going to get to see it because most of the situations that people are coming up in, people are blowing the ship up.
hmm
People are just holding it in an armistice zone where nobody's fighting over it. We were under combat almost the entire time. We were either running from it or under
hmm
combat. This is like, look at the screen. Like, this is what they want to show the wider
yep,
gaming audience of this is what Star Citizen could be. But they did a terrible job of
hmm
making this a thing that can happen consistently, right?
yeah,
I had the most insane amount of luck. It spawned on a server that I was sitting on. Now, you can call luck or you can not call luck. Did I put my server number up on the screen while I was just sitting there? Yes. So if they did decide to spawn it on there, so you could speculate that happened or not, but none of us will know. So you're being dumb if you're doing that because we'll never know if that's the truth or not. And you know full well that every other streamer you've watched has barely experienced this. I think Tarada had a good
yep,
experience last night, but
yep,
most other people had horrible experiences trying to deal with this. This is so far from streamer privilege. This destroyed my stream yesterday. I was so pissed off because you're chasing after these things that you're never going to have the opportunity to do.
yep.
I want to try and find where I think this is the one where the Idris blows up, possibly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. So yep, this is it.
Yeah, because you guys were on the first one, I believe. The
I
first
found
one
one of the
that
first ones, yes. And the way
yeah,
I found one of it is I just happened to have a friend that was on the server, and I go, "Are you on it?" Because they're always on it.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I just joined on them, and I got in. And then a
yeah, same
few
thing.
of my friends joined in, but the whole server blew it up, right?
Yeah,
And that's the experience that a lot of people are dealing with because they don't know what they're
yeah,
doing, and then that ruins it for everybody. So like so if you call this a streamer server, this was so far
yeah.
from
No.
it. It was terrible. And
Um,
yeah.
the other thing I wanted to mention is I also don't think necessarily there's something wrong with the frequency being the way that it is if it lasts for longer overall. If it wasn't 5 days, this very short amount of time where the Idrises are spawning once every 4 to 6 hours on a random server,
Mhm.
which and then they 30k anyway, then it wouldn't be as bad because it then becomes an event of I am just playing the game. Oh, it popped, right? Like I get to just play the game as normal for a month, and I don't have to try to run after this to see this incredibly exclusive content. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's such a shame. It's one of those things where it's like it just is so cool, it looks so cool, and everyone wants to be a part of it, and no one can. It
Yeah.
sucks.
It's just terrible.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it was. I think it is a massive failure from an event planning perspective. I think that
yeah,
they did learn some things of like, okay, immediately we found how people are exploiting, which also I don't know why you didn't think of this in the first place. Classic.
yeah,
was like people going to armistice zones or being completely like, dude, the way we found this ship was ridiculous. The one that's on the screen now, it was not on the plane of everybody else, but there happened to be a service beacon near it within 300 kilometers of it. That was the only way we were able to get to it. So it was like, it was really ridiculous to try to get to this one. So the things that people are doing to win the event is, all I got to say is the guy that was in the seat for us, if I'm ever going to use my streamer privilege, I'm going to use it now. The guy that was in the seat for our Idris better get the fucking Idris over the people that are sitting there for 8 hours on a dead server hiding somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because we were under insane pressure the entire time. I think our 1 hour of pressure, it was worth 8 hours of sitting there doing nothing, right? And their response to that was they agree, in the sense of you can't just be out of reach or in an armistice zone and actually win this thing.
Yeah. So to flip the tone a little bit, because there are obviously some very big positives about just what this was.
Yeah.
Mike, what was your experience with this mission? Because I got to see you do it the entire way through.
It was awesome. It was one of the best experiences you can ever have in a video game ever. Because you remember how I'm always talking about like purpose? Like the purpose was getting this guy the Idris, right? Or somebody at least. And
high stakes. Actual high stakes.
Like actual high stakes, right? And then the other thing was just being able to okay, I don't think this is Idris, maybe this is. Oh, this was another massive failure. We'll talk about this one, which is one of the positives, but turned out to be a fail. But the ability, I don't know if I have like walking around too much, but like the ability to walk around the ship and just the sheer size of it and just be just wowed by like, this thing is crazy. Like, I mean, anybody play a Wing Commander game and you walk into this room, it was just like a wow moment for me, right?
Yeah.
But I unfortunately was not recording when I boarded the ship. But that was
I did get to see
well.
that, but
yeah, that was epic as well. I have it. I mean, it's on my stream, so I can. I will try to cut this into a YouTube video, but I need to just record anytime I'm playing. It's ridiculous why I'm not
watching you guys. So I think someone had disabled the Idris beforehand, but you essentially were reboarding it.
We boarded it from Mongrel Squad, but they only were able to get like 3 people in the server. So there was a few of them, maybe let's call it like 5, because there were a few of them shooting us outside. We exit the ship that we're in. We EVA, they blew up our ships, but we got into it. So then, but there happened to be 10 of us that were able to get onto the Idris because it was sitting still. And we just rushed the bridge, and 3 of them are not going to beat 10 of us. They downed a few of us, but they didn't get all of us, right? And that was it. So there's nothing fair about the fight. And like I talked to them and they're like, no fight's fair. Everybody was like cheers after, and it was just great from that perspective as well. They ended up coming back later and all that, but I
think the biggest thing just about when they came back, the amount of like rushing you guys were doing of just like, pilot, just keep quantuming, just keep getting out of here, keep us safe. And then you guys got interdicted, like an actual decent, fun player interdiction.
How?
Of an Idris. It was awesome.
Okay, so for me, that's the only situation where the pilot deserves to lose the Idris. How did we get interdicted? I have no idea. Like what? Like I kept
must have been
him,
quantuming between the same 2 points or something.
Yeah. I was so I don't know how it happened. I want to see his perspective, because I was telling him, dude, quantum to the jump points and we will be on that plane where nobody can get to, because I saw it. I experienced it right before that. So I think it was an inside job.
Probably. There were bodies still on your thing as well.
Yeah. So the other thing was, unfortunately, we cleared all the bodies that we could get to.
Yeah.
Player bodies, unfortunately, were stuck in the walls, and they were using those as jump points to get back to the Idris. So that's how we were interdicted, guys, sadly.
Yeah.
But I'm actually gonna try and bring up the stream to show the boarding maybe. But yeah, man. Like people, I was like, I just kept saying, I hope you guys are enjoying watching this. and everybody was like, "This is incredible. This is blah blah blah." And people don't usually say that about my Twitch stream, so I felt like what the game was selling itself for the first time on my
Yeah.
stream. Where usually sometimes you got to sell it, right?
Yeah.
So that
So
was pretty strong.
the mission itself, the Idris itself, amazing, look great. Will be interesting to see, like, because I imagine there will be some element of a boardable Idris in game as like a permanent thing
Killing
within the
everyone without a
next 12 months.
party marker.
Whether
Mhm.
that's just when you go to do an Arlington mission, whether it's available or whatnot. I imagine that'll be a thing. And so I also wonder how, like you got to experience a lot of what the Idris is going to be in the future. You didn't get to experience engineering. You didn't really get to experience repairing because there was
You could not
like, yeah.
respawn on it. We went to the med bay to try
Yep.
to make
Couldn't
sure we can
respawn.
hold it permanently forever. You cannot.
Which is good. I think that's a good thing they disabled that, because otherwise it makes the competition a bit weird.
Look at how many ships are around this thing.
Mhm.
Like, this is like it's the original Jump Town again, where everybody wanted to be in the same place at the same time. There's a Myro.
Mhm.
He was in chat, or he is in
Yep.
chat now. And I was like, we gotta think about. Then I'm looking. I'm like, why do I have shotgun distortions? What is this? So, and then we were just like, keep it distorted, keep it distorted.
Yeah, yep.
And then eventually, I felt like we were getting shot, and I was like, I'm getting out. And I was like, I am not going to die in this thing. And then here we go. Right, Void Dude was there. So I think the thing that we got the luckiest with is I invited anybody and everybody, and somehow we managed to stay communicated, and like everything was kind of smooth from that front. Everybody was on the same. We had one issue where I'm sure you're familiar with PC 101. His marker was gone, and somebody killed him and perma killed him. So he was on the ship and then wasn't, which totally sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was sperm suit and I'm looting NPC bodies trying to does anybody have a gun for the push? And then here's the push. This is the push right here. So it was, like these moments are wild. I think one of the criticisms, I saw Hannah say it, all of these guards are boss guards. That's like 2 full mags to kill. That's a lot. Now, I know the Idris should be hard to kill, but that's a bit much, I think, from the NPC standpoint.
There should be more of them, but it should be more of a mix still. You should still have just like random grunts around.
Yeah.
But like, once again, that could be a rare thing just for this mission. Like, I doubt many of these things are going to be permanent. Did you ever find... I know that Elliot said that there was something special for you in there. Did you ever find it?
No, he said it was in the bathroom. But I think he was just probably setting up a joke and say, like, look at the toilet, you're shit or something, you know? So I just gave up looking, because the thing is people were falling out of the ship a lot. I'm falling out. So I think we would have been safe, but we were, everybody in the group was on the same page of that. We wanted everybody possible to get in this ship and experience it that we knew was friendly. Yeah. And that we thought was friendly. Right. And there was some like, I don't know if Hannah is, what's that? Like we had all these like moments where we were nervous about it. But look at Void Dude. He's like outside. And I think he was saying, I'm helping. Because he like couldn't get in. And
covering fire.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I got in and I was just like, I'm moving it, because they weren't. Whoever was in the pilot seat before couldn't move it, clearly, because they weren't moving. So they let us all in. And so it was just like a moment. And then I couldn't quantum travel. The guy who got in the seat, who we tried to keep in the seat permanently, he was able to, and he got us out. And that was it. The rest was just running and searching through the ship, right? Yeah. So it was ridiculous. So apparently Agents, who is the leader of Mongrel Squad, could not control the ship for 12 minutes. I get in, it just works. But I can't quantum travel. I get out of the seat. The guy can just quantum travel. So it was like, the more people that sit in the seat, the more the Idris started working. It was so weird.
It may have been timed perfectly, because we know that with the Idris mission, they changed the time for distortion to shut everything off from 5 minutes to 15 minutes. Yep. So, a lot longer time, obviously, so that people can actually have a chance to board and and not be stuck in there for too long.
Chat saying don't forget the callers. We didn't, but we still need to show you how many people are going to get to experience this. Nobody. So we have to show you the experience, so at least everybody gets to see it, right?
Yeah.
Because again, that was the whole thing. That was like, we need to be able to show people the inside of the ship, and I think you mentioned it, and I think this has to be a thing that happens at Invictus. This ship needs to be parked at a station, and you need to be able to tour this thing. And to be honest, it shouldn't be at Invictus. It should be now, because I think that's really what people want to see. I think the idea of the combat part of it was the most amazing thing that Star Citizen can offer. But I think what a majority of people want to do is just walk around the ship and see the set of Squadron 42, because that's what it is. And that's what I tried to do for as many people as possible. People that were killing us, I said, if you agree to be friendly, you can come in. Like Detox and crew were shooting at us originally, and I was like, especially any content creator, I was trying to get them in so they can, because I knew how hard it would be.
Yeah.
So it's like, anybody that I'm friends with, this is the moment. Thank you for being nice to me. I'm going to do my best to be nice to you, and it was very difficult too, but we tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, the only other thing I'll mention is just the awesome aspect that you had of because you were trying to keep the Idris, having to call in friends.
Yeah.
To come and support you. Like to get rid of the mantises and the cutlasses and whatnot.
Yep.
Keeping you guys from quantuming.
Hannah.
Yep. That was awesome.
Yep.
There's no real reason to do that in game right now, because I'll just go respawn. But there was actual agency here, and it was awesome.
But because it mattered so much, you didn't know if they were going to backstab you. And that also added to there was so much suspense, because for the first time, it felt like something mattered.
Yep.
And it doesn't. In reality, this is still the example of, like, we're not in the place that Star Citizen could be yet, where like things actually matter. But there was, for momentarily, this thing mattered. Like, I imagine something
$1,300 on stake.
Well, that's assuming that you were going to buy it if you didn't get it, which I'm not going to do. For me, I looked at it and went, I hope to be around long enough to earn this through a referral or something. I don't care, right? And then guess what? If I can't earn it through a referral, I'm earning this shit in game. And that's it. I do not care. For me, I wanted as many of my friends to have fun as possible. And most of the people on screen, I don't even fucking know. And that was the problem with the event. Is whoever got in, got in. We had 27 people in our party that I was friends with. 5 of them were there.
Yeah.
That's not cool, right?
Yeah.
So then we were just like, people were like, add me. And I'm like, all right, bro, whoever can help us do this, let's do it. And that was it. And I mean, that's where the event really, really failed. So.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah,
I think we touched on everything. With that. So let's listen to Chat's terrible ideas about the event.
True.
With some callers.
Let's do it. Let's bring in our first caller. But again, everybody, we're going to keep you to around 5 minutes, hopefully. Hello, Space.
How you doing, Space Monkey?
The 20-minute call starts now.
Come on, Mike. Come on.
I got to. It's a joke.
Okay. Well, what do you guess what I want to talk about?
You want to talk about the reputation changes.
No. I don't know, Mike. Did you forget I was on your team and on the Idris?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But I thought you might want to talk about something else.
No. I mean, the other stuff also okay, but basically, and to keep it short, as you wanted, just focus on the Idris. I mean,
I'm sorry, I just have a hockey game today. I have a playoff game.
Yeah, so no worries.
Different.
Just kidding.
We'll lose. It'll be over after today. Don't worry, guys.
No, for me, it was basically, I mean, by far, the most fun and the most engaging stuff I've ever had in the game. Because, I mean, playing with that group, I only knew Mike. The other was just randoms to me. I was just like,
but everybody
okay,
was cool.
let's do it. Yes, yes.
Everybody
That was
was
really
working
nice.
towards a common goal, and like
Mm-hmm.
everybody was on the same page. It was crazy. I'll
Mhm.
I'll the dude. Hold on, let me press stop so you can see the paused screen. Do you see this guy Orc Lover top left?
Mm-hmm.
This dude had a grenade launcher, but he had unlimited ammo and held the door that we all knew they were coming from. And he goes, "I do this for a living. I board ships for a living." He was
Yeah, yeah.
going
I remember
insane.
that. I mean, the sheer amount of stuff that happened during those, what was it, 3.5 hours was
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say it about what I saw, about my experience, like getting to the ship, finding a way in, storming the bridge with Zippy, who went in first and died. Obviously, shout out to Zippy. So sorry for,
Mhm.
but I think he got back later. I can't remember. There was so much
Fallen
going on.
soldier Zippy. He got back, but I think he was fighting outside mostly.
Yeah. Sad, but at least he got a bit of
Yeah.
the Idris. Hopefully more next time.
Yeah.
Then getting down, getting revived, and then having some time to explore and feel the Idris was also pretty nice because
We did have a
I saw
moment
the
of peace,
Yeah.
yeah
but it was only
moment
a
before the
short moment.
storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was into the cargo room, which I've never seen before, which was like, interesting. Okay, that's how it works.
I'll
The
try to find the
elevators,
cargo room.
yeah, there were two elevators on the side where you
Mhm.
can put cargo on and pull it up to that room. So interesting.
So
Then, yeah, say it.
I just want to say that at one point the power plant, or excuse me, the quantum drive had 0 health, but we know
Yeah.
that there was that PTU where you were able to use salvage to repair it up to 90%. I had a multi-tool and I had an oxy torch, but I thought it
Yeah.
was the salvage thing. This is us. Oh, this keeps coming up. It doesn't stay stopped. This is an OBS issue. This isn't me.
Mm.
We had an issue where here's the cargo bay actually. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
knew that below the cargo bay
Yeah.
is there's Gladius in there, and we were going to salvage it and repair the drive so we could leave. And in the
Mhm.
meantime, like, we know people are coming and we can't stop. It was so intense. And
Yeah.
like the idea, everybody was like, yes, like, here they're tractoring it up and I'm going to be able to salvage it. And then I find out that it's an oxy torch. And I'm like, no. Oh my God. So I start
Do
spazzing
we
looking for them.
do we
I,
know
I
if
that
the quantum drive was physicalized so that you could do that though?
We
That you could
don't, but
repair it?
we don't,
Okay.
but it was our only shot of it was
Yeah, yeah.
over. This was over
Yeah.
if we didn't do this. So it
Yeah.
was our only chance. But
then
that
getting
was
to that
epic.
moment when we were mostly all on the bridge and then we get interdicted was this
Mhm.
what the fuck moment for me from all of the stream. I was like, are you serious now? When the Big Flex was the pilot, when he said, "Oh, they are players." So it's
Yep.
like, really?
What? Yeah, because we were like, it's got to be a random NPC. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah, we
way.
didn't believe it.
How? We've been jumping nonstop. How did they find us? So yeah,
That
that
was
was
pretty neat.
yeah. I'm gonna look
Yeah.
for that too because that was just what you know.
Just so cool.
Then we jumped, or at least I did, on the turret and just tried to fight it back but the turrets weren't that good of experience. First, because of the lag. At some point, when there are
Mhm.
really a lot of players, it's really hard to aim because of the FPS. And we're turning so low, and I had feeling I don't really had a great impact on the fight. I saw that you killed
Yeah.
one or two people, Mike,
I
but
killed a
I
few.
couldn't. I couldn't. Okay.
So what people are saying is there were smaller turrets on the ship, but they were all ballistic, so
Mhm.
they were out. And
Okay.
Right.
I think those were the ones with missiles on them, maybe, as well. So I fired missiles at people. They didn't do anything.
Mhm.
And the bigger ones were like the turrets that shoot at the javelin in the
Yeah, yeah.
like
Mm.
Xeno threat mission. Like, the ship is intended to kill bigger things as well, I guess, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, there were 2 turrets. I don't know if you experienced them in the lowest deck, where the Argo cargo room is. There were 2 turrets you can get in who had like a better experience against fighters, but the big ones on the left side and the right side of the bridge, basically unusable. I mean, you
Well, they're
shoot against
unusable in
your target.
that encounter.
Yeah,
because you're just
against
fighting
fighters.
mantises and
Yeah, yeah.
cutlasses, right?
And
Like,
Yeah,
it's too
dude,
hard to
you
hit.
could not track them, and then the FPS was so low it was even more difficult. It was tough, bro. It was tough.
So,
Here's the
Space
thing.
Monkey,
Yeah.
what's your because you got to participate in the event? What's your like
Yeah.
overall feel of the mission and like specifically the gameplay?
Yeah.
I mean, if it happens like this, and like Mike said, nobody is hiding the Idris, maybe just like change it in the future, not to this, if you stay in the seat, blah, 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 longest enough you get something, maybe just like do an objective with it, or change the goal of it. It would be much better, but like that was insane. It was amazing. It was just like feeling the best possible version of Star Citizen.
Yeah, the thing about having them be in the seat makes you need to hold the bridge. Like, I agree with you. We have to change something about it because it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I can't think of a better answer, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
I mean,
I think this is the interdiction at some point here. But
I'm on the bridge on the right side. I see myself, so it must be somewhere here.
Yeah. It was crazy. There's Croncy in chat saying "Yo, hype."
It was hype. It was really hype.
Crazy, yeah. And these are some of the bodies that people were jumping to and from. So we were getting rid of them and stuff.
The like tense moments when like people did manage to get onto the ship in your engagements, and you did have to defend the bridge was crazy.
Yeah, it was
actually crazy.
Because I don't know if this was true,
right here,
and I don't know if you see that, but apparently somebody said that there was a C2 out there that dropped a snap fighter that got on the ship. The guy jumped out, and then he went on the bridge and shot the pilot.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening? It was so crazy.
It was awesome.
And then something unfortunate happened. I fell out of the Idris. And but it was also good at the end, because then I experienced the fight outside, because I came back with a Scorpius. Then the High Lord, shout out to him as well, also fell out of the Idris.
So
I picked him up I picked him up on the way. Then he got my turret gunner, and we fought outside. The Idris was still flying at that point. We fought outside, killed like 4 or 5 people. I'm normally not a PvP player, but it was pretty neat to do that as well. And then at the end, where I died the last time, the High Lord had to go, and I wanted to board again and get on the ship and defend it. And then on the way in, I was there with Voidy, and there were other guys also EVAing towards the entry.
Oh my
and then
God.
They killed us. Voidy killed one, and then I wanted, because I had no gun, I wanted to pick up the gun, and then I got killed, which is also hilarious, because it's another experience, like on the way boarding, fighting outside in EVA as well.
Yeah. But all right, I guess final thoughts then, Space, on this. Good event, bad event?
I mean, if you had the chance, and that's the criticism I can share as well. If you had the chance, it was amazing. If not,
it's awful.
It's awful, because I was such a blast. And shout out to everybody who's attended on our side. Shout out to everybody who came to aid, to help us, and also shout out to the people who attacked us.
Shout out to CIG for spending their weekend spawning these things. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to do that, but they did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe there is a later iteration on it where they don't have to, and you basically they spawn automatically and do whatever.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully. So
hopefully.
Big shout out also to CIG, and that's it.
All right, Space. Well, thanks for calling, and thanks for being on the crew. And I'm glad we got to share it together. That was epic.
Yeah.
That was epic. All right, guys, have fun.
Later.
Catch up.
All right. So next up is What do you, Lockfire?
Lokefire?
Yeah.
Loekfire? I don't know.
How do we say your name? Low key fire? Maybe, I don't know. But you're
And
muted.
you are muted.
Mm-hmm. So we might put you back into next in line. Nope, there you are.
Oh.
Unmuted.
Hello?
We're starting.
Nothing.
Nothing? All right, we'll put him back in the queue then.
We'll see you again soon.
Yep. And then we'll do End Matt Burt next. They want to talk about the Idris. End Matt Burt, what's up?
Matt?
Hey. You hear me okay?
Down. I hear you great. I'm turning you down just a bit because I think you had you up at some point in the past.
So what do you think about the Idris event?
So I'm going to start by saying I am part of an org and we have chased this event. And I mean, we chased it hard. I've slept 6 hours since the event started.
Oh, jeez.
When I say hard, I mean hard.
Yeah.
I've played it 3 times. On none of the occasions
3 times
have
in
I managed
48
to board.
hours, which is very small.
And he said he has not been able to board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how lucky we were.
Literally spamming servers. That's with people literally just disregarding their friends list, absolutely flooding servers, just ping after ping after ping, a bit like you were doing earlier, Croncy.
Yeah.
So my 3 separate experiences. The first one was actually the one that got the rules changed. I don't know whether you saw the update, the combat update. That was because of the server that I was in. This was the one. So it ended up 9 million miles up in the Z-axis.
The one on Reddit where they were just in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. I am genuinely gutted for that crew. What they did was genius. I don't know whether you've heard. You're saying I can hear the problems. They used Wake of Disaster.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely that's how you get yourself out in one of those locations.
Right.
Yeah, we were discussing doing it, actually, but I thought it was cringe.
Yeah. So at no point were they unreachable, technically. At no point were they in armistice or, unkillable. And CIG came out with this rule set. Bear in mind, we were chasing. We are part of an org. We figured it out. We worked out what they'd done. We were replicating it. We were less than 10,000 kilometers away when CIG suddenly went, oh, by the way, now you've got to come back.
So to clarify for that team, so in Wake of Disaster was still up. The mission was still active.
No.
So it was up in the server that they started in.
Yep.
And then they were using other people in other servers with Wake of Disaster, using bed logging to create more points for them to continue to jump higher and continue to go high.
Right. I don't have any sympathy for that. I do think it's genius.
It's genius.
And I do think if they didn't clarify the rules as quickly as they did, then I would be gutted. Like if they said it tomorrow, then I would be like, well, they were still all under the rules.
Yeah.
But with that, no.
Because here's the problem is that the only thing that you're running up against then is what? It's a 30K. That determines who wins the Idris or not. Who 30Ks first. It's not not in the spirit of the event at all.
We were competing for it.
Yeah, you were, but were you ever going to... You said you were 10,000 kilometers away. Do you know how many hours that is?
Yeah.
In flight? You're not getting there unless you...
Sorry, to be clear, we were closing. We started doing the kind of, we're just going to fly towards it. They must have flown out. It's fine.
But they'll just
jump. We worked out that it was going to be 84 days was the number we came up with to helium fuel that way. And then we started jumping and we started cross patterning and we started, there was a lot of complicated math in trying to get people lined up in jump points to be able to jump quantum skip closer. Right, okay, now we're 2 million away. Quantum skip closer. Now we're 1 million away. Quantum skip closer. Okay, well, now we're 10,000. It really was engaging and it really was felt like organic gameplay. And I'm going to come back to that. Like, CIG stepped in and went, this is not how we want the event to run. So they put out an announcement on Spectrum, which we're kind of getting reports in chat and people are going, oh, Spectrum. And we're like, all right, okay, we now need to have somebody go and double check Spectrum to try and work out where this post is of this update to this rule. and we spoke to the squad on the Idris afterwards, and they were saying, we had to actually have somebody tab out, go find this post that was like 50,000 comments deep in the thread to keep scrolling back to find what they'd actually said.
Their communication,
and it was only kind of
shit.
Yeah, and I think it
they,
could have been.
They should have.
They could have had some global way to communicate that in the server at the moment. If they're watching over it and they've got dev tools and whatever, there needed to be some way of everybody being fed that information together.
In that instance,
fed that information at the same time.
In that instance, 100% that crew should be notified directly, because like there's a certain integrity you have to have between competitions anyway, and it's like, if they don't want this to be the way that it was at the start, which I agree with, I don't think it should have been that way at the start, then you have to tell the people actively doing that is the case right now, because this is it is a time relevant competition, but like I still I think still it is $1,300 on the line. I know that Mike said, well, it's like, well, would you buy it anyway? I don't think that necessarily comes into it. It's still a free $1,300 thing.
Yeah.
And so because it's such a big competition, I don't really think we've had anything like that in Star System before. I may be wrong. You definitely have to message directly for that stuff. That's kind of wild.
This was a bridge defense, by the way. We actually.
The spin?
What's on the screen? We found the bridge defense here, where I was 100% stream sniped, by the way, and I don't care about that stuff. Yeah, it is what it is. But they knew exactly
one thing I was
going to
say. One thing I was going to say as a public service announcement. It appears that the port side stairs leading up to the bridge is the problem. We had multiple members get shunned out of that side when we did board on the second occasion. But we were in Armistice on an Idris that was landed, which again was going to say my second experience was somebody went, I want people to be able to see this. Yes. I do not care about the piloting time. I do not care about the competition. I want people to have the experience of being on an Idris. And we were absolutely spammed by people trying to ram the thing. It was landed on the ice at New Babbage, and people were just dive bombing it. And it just, it frustrated me no end that people cannot keep their hands off this. They can't kind of see why people are trying to do a good thing in this game and let it happen instead of feeling like they need to, ruin it for everyone.
I mean, welcome to the internet. It is what it is.
I understand
that's more a solution that CIG need to make ramming not a thing.
Rather,
and so that was I really felt that I wanted to to come on to share those two kind of experiences. One where we felt that the team did a really good job of finding the loophole, finding the way to kind of and everybody was pointing their fingers and going, they must have cheated, and I want to put it out there that they didn't cheat. They used yes, it was loopholes, yes, it was clever play. They also were able to repair, to clarify your point.
Really?
I don't know if they were repairing components, but when they were out at Wake of Disaster, they were able to use rifles to repair the Idris.
Scrap all the Wake of Disaster ships to prepare the Idris. That's genius. I love.
I was telling people who died to go get a vulture and stuff.
And so and it was so so those were the things that I wanted to hit. I know you're trying to keep it short, so
Some
I'll ask you one more
question. Let me tell you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll just ask you one more question. Other than like either frequency of event, which I think is really the biggest issue, what would you like to see improved on this?
So frequency, I think the F8. The thing that I took away from it was that everybody could get gold tickets, and then some people could get platinum, and I thought that was really important. The difference with the Idris is that only some people get to play it, and there's
an
so
even
much
smaller amount get it. It's like a squashing of that event.
It was all the bad things like that people complained about. They made them worse.
So that would be my first thing, and and again I understand the exclusivity of the prize pool and whatever, but having the option, like you said, about people being able to tour it. There are so many people out there that are just looking for the experience that you had of walking into that briefing room and going, holy shit, this this is amazing. You know,
Yeah.
oh, what are we building here? What does the Star Citizen universe look like? What's the glimpse of the future that I can have in this game right now?
I had it, and you had it, and we're the very lucky few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Not okay.
So, no, I think that's everything. So thanks for doing what you do and for sticking it out and putting up with the content when the content's not that great. You know, Croncy, I know you were server hopping before this, and it's not fun gameplay.
The content turned in us talking about like the origins of Where's Wally and like the 1990s movie Hackers. It became a whole weird stream for sure. But thanks for the call, Matt. Make sure you get some sleep because you said you only had 6 hours in the last 2 days.
No, I mean there's probably another
I'll be sleeping when the event's over.
Matt.
I'm still server hopping right now.
Yeah,
I'm still server hopping. You know, we're still looking for it. We're still going again.
DM me if
we haven't got somebody in the pilot seat yet. What's the point?
DM me if you get one, and Croncy can just host this. It's no big deal. We'll just Croncy, you host, and you'll just see me like on my keyboard. But, all right, bro. We'll let you go, and thanks for the call.
Yeah, cheers.
No worries. Appreciate it.
Surprised we're getting people that actually experienced it, to be honest, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna try the Loke Fire.
Loke Fire, you there?
Last chance, Loke. Womp womp womp. Put him back up in the queue. We'll try him at the end.
Yep. SPK.
Welcome back.
Hey boys, how's it going? Can you hear me?
We can. You got a lot of weird mic things.
Yeah. You sound like you're on a webcam mic. Now we can't hear you at all.
How'd that go? Is that any better?
Less background noise. Sounds a bit weirder, but it's less background noise. What?
Testing.
Yeah,
good enough.
It's there. Yeah.
But don't get mad if we shorten it because it's brutal.
Yep.
Oh damn, I feel bad. What, this mic over the other one? I don't know why it's busted.
It just sounds like your it's hot and your air conditioner's blowing. But it's all good. Just what are your thoughts on what you want to talk about? I'd rather talk than troubleshoot. We'll deal with that.
Yeah. I'll try to keep it short then. I guess the main thing is because I didn't get to experience this Idris event, so I guess the main thing is I'm kind of surprised they didn't do like a NPC Idrises everywhere, and then just kind of like the platinum ticket, have maybe a SIG crew on one of the Idrises, kind of like finding the golden ticket. Everyone gets to go board an Idris, but then one person finds the SIG crew and that matters or something. I don't know. It's just an idea I thought I'd drop.
Yeah, they kind of are essentially doing that, but not like it's not automatic spawn. So there are NPC crews obviously, but they are still triggered spawns by CIG. So like once again, it sort of just becomes more about frequency, and I am a little confused why it wasn't automated. Maybe it wasn't able to be automated. Maybe that was a time limit or something. I don't know. But
like I don't even get the timing of the patch and the need to do this today.
Yeah, like there's nothing big right now. It feels strange.
Yeah, like I was just surprised that they didn't just throw in a normal NPC Idris with an interior, and just give everyone that chance to experience the interior Idris, and then just have that one special Idris fully play accrued. But yeah, and I suppose the other thing I wanted to talk about, to be honest, which he's already brought up, was the floor elevators. Like they're going elite on the elevators. I thought that was big, and how honestly, Mike, you like kind of nailed everything I was kind of predicting like at the start, where I thought they were going to tuck away our private elevators in there, and how this might be leading to I guess all the persistent homes and personalization and customization that I think we've needed for a long time, sooner than we expected.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. It got me so excited. It got me so excited.
but that's honestly about it.
Okay.
Yeah, wish I got to experience the event. I'm going to
So
jump
do
back
I.
on and try to figure it out now after I figure out what's going on with my mic. But I'm glad you did, because I very much enjoyed the stream. It was freaking awesome, freaking amazing. I just lived vicariously through you, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
And
it's just not how it should be, though.
Yeah.
No,
Man,
well,
Greasy
hopefully they
Khaleesi
find a
was
middle
mad.
ground. Oh, God. I love Khaleesi, right? I mean, I do wish him and Void Dude got a bit more time inside. I'm sure it would have been hilarious, but
yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Voidy. I think he was in and fell out of the ship a few times. It was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of collision issues on there, it seems. Which, like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's not like they've been bug testing like a bunch of players being in there very recently, right? So
Yeah. So
makes sense.
But all right,
Yeah.
I guess we'll let you go since you're saying you're done, and we'll apparently we're
Yep.
gonna try the low key fire again. So we'll let you go, man. Thank you for your call, and I hope you get
Thanks again.
you get
See you
another
later.
shot.
Yeah, cheers. Have a good one.
Later, bro. All right, we're gonna try him one more time because the mods checked and we're able to hear him.
Luke,
Hello,
is your Discord working?
hello. Maybe there's a delay because they're watching the stream.
Nothing coming through a Discord at all. Not even the green ring.
Yeah,
So it
nothing.
may be that you're wrong mic input or something. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So we tried.
All right.
So we'll go
PC
with our last
101.
caller, PC 101, who got brutally murdered right in front of me.
Executed.
Yes.
How you doing, PC?
Hi. So, can you hear me all right? Sorry, I'm on my mobile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't know if it was going to be a crap mic, so.
It's better than the last one.
Because I'm at work, so I was like, but I'm still like, I'm so kind of angry and disappointed and disgusted at this event at CAG kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, I'm ringing up. I'm going to have a go at them.
Go ahead.
So I think this is the most toxic thing CIG have ever done. They have advertised as a group event, and then it's like, yo, get your friends together, get your org together, go battle and take over the Idris, and then backstab your friends, and then it's just, I think that's just I think it's toxic.
I love that.
So you're
about
saying,
it.
yeah. So you're saying the toxic part is like
but I'm toxic.
Is like what the gameplay itself is. Is that what you're saying?
No, they've made an event which kind of goes on the worst part of humanity, which is greed. So they want. I think I actually thought this was a Xeno thing. I didn't realize this was a separate event until Saturday, until Mike's stream. I thought this was going to be like the end of like the chain of Xeno stuff, that you'd get to the end, you'd fight the Idris and you'd capture it. And that would be a cool thing to do with your friends. But then they've made it this money thing, which means, so they want people to get their friends together and then capture an Idris, then immediately backstab their friends. I can imagine like loads of friendships ending over this because of this object that creates greed.
I mean, I don't want to go there, but I feel like that's a society issue, not necessarily a Star Citizen issue. And you get me? Like, that's going to happen regardless.
How about this? They had an event. I'll put it this way, and I think this hammers what you're trying to say, but say it in a different way that people would be less apprehensive to agreeing with you. They have an event that requires a group to work together to succeed, but only one person reaps the rewards.
Yeah, it's a group event with a solo reward.
Yeah, so that's the problem with it. Instead of, I don't think that it does make it toxic, but at the same time, like, you know, I was worried about, is Hannah pretending to be my friend so that they can come and take the Idris? And if they did that, they did that. It would be funny if it happened, in my mind, but it would suck for sure if it happened. Oh, actually, PC, I have literally your murder on screen right now. I just got lucky. It just happened to be there.
Sorry.
Wow, making him relive it. Wow.
One?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also another point. Oh.
Yep. It just happened.
Do you think, PC, that issue would not necessarily exist if we had corp hangers? Because then it becomes, you know, it is a reward for the group, and so there's not there's not as much backstabbing. I mean, I got to say, I haven't heard of any backstabbing, but I also haven't heard much of people actually getting on the Idris, to be fair. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that kind of brings up other points I have that this just shows how broken the game is. Like, I got team killed 6 or 7 times because the party marker system doesn't work.
Yep.
I had difficulties when I died trying to get back to you guys. I had difficulties QTing to you because all the QT markers. And then when I was getting near you guys, I couldn't see the Idris because of the 50 party markers. Just this white ball of names over the Idris. And I fell through the ship like 3 times. I died trying to get on the ramp. And then last night I tried boarding. I watched on PTU from 2 streamers' point of view. One streamer, the door was open, the hangar was open, and the other streamer, the hangar was shut. And I think that's what happened to last night when I tried to board it, because I had no intention of playing it last night. I wanted to play another game, but then Elliot was on. I'm going to have to go in and try and kill Elliot. So I'm actually getting on the server, and I tried to get in the hangar, but I died. And when I looked back at the video, I shouldn't have died. I was perfectly in the center. The Idris wasn't moving, but I think there was so much desync, or the doors were just wrong state, that I blew up and died. And then eventually last night, they just got blown up from people ramming. CIG's like, yeah, we died. People kept ramming us, but I think it's because people keep seeing the hangar open and it's not open.
Yeah,
right. I will say, the first couple of issues you mentioned, with like the party markers and trying to quantum to people. The hope is obviously that those changes that are supposed to be coming in 3.23 solve that. Will they? Probably not. They'll probably cause more issues, but
I saw
that's
that
at least something.
Like 2 weeks ago, there's a new party marker, so I think
Mhm.
instead of a big white ball, we're going to have a big, huge yellow ball.
yeah. It
but hopefully
needs to
distance
recognize.
related.
Yeah, it needs to recognize there's a bunch in an area. I'm far away. Make it one party marker and call it the ship that they're in.
Yeah.
But
And then
do we
another
trust
point.
that? I don't know yet.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Another point I had was the feedback stuff. They were giving feedback the last event they did about it's not fun spending an hour on the menu trying to join. Not being able to do the event's not fun, and they didn't listen to any of that feedback. There was on the PTU when they were doing testing, there was problems with people getting on the ship once it's disabled, because it doesn't, once you disable it, it doesn't come to a stop quickly. And like when we did it on when we got disabled, I couldn't get on the ship because it was moving faster faster than it does when you're EVA. You can't get in the hangars because it's full of ships. They should have really saw that and thought we should probably make the decay quicker, so it slows down quicker if they want people to board the ship and not try and ram the ship.
Yeah.
It's like there's loads of bits of feedback they just don't action on.
Yeah.
We got rammed 100 times.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I think one thing that, because I don't necessarily think it was intentional from CIG for it to be as impossible for everyone to be a part of as it was. I think they drastically overestimated how long the Idrises would last in each server. Because if, like Mike, if the Idris that you had taken control of that first time, if that had lasted for 12 hours, then significantly more chance that people are going to see it over time. And then same with like all of the other Idrises and whatnot, right? Well, multiple crews taking over it over the course of the period.
It has millions of health.
It does, yeah.
Like it can survive that long. The reason it isn't is because people decided that I can't get on the ship because we kept moving. So they decided I'm going to throw my ball down and be upset and kill you. So if I can't enjoy it, you can't enjoy it. And that's fine. But that's how they decided to play it. But the health is there to allow. We were hit by 100 torpedoes and 100 ships and a lot of ballistic weapons. And eventually we died. There's enough health there. You do not have to change anything about that. You just have to.
But it's the other things, and it's also the behavior. Like you learn a lot more about the behaviors of the pilots, of the players, right? Yeah. Like now that you know that players are going to do that, figure out a solution for the next time you run the event, whatever it might be. Yep. Whether that's more Idrises, more health for the Idris, make ramming not as much of an issue as it is in the game. At
all.
You know, like all those sorts of things. Because I don't think CIG did it this way with bad intentions.
Of course
obviously,
not. Well,
but
other
like,
than to sell,
you know what I mean?
That's the only like they
Yeah,
obviously did it to make
someone
money.
was
People are
definitely
gonna
like,
get
we
mad
can
about
make
that.
money right now, but
Yeah. But I think that their intention
Sorry,
was to
PC.
show what the game could do, and
Yeah.
not everybody is able to do that, even if they are on the Idris.
Yeah.
Or willing to do it, I should say. Right?
Yeah. I don't know about adding more Idrises, because last night they had 2 Idrises. They had the main one was Elliot on, and then they had another one guarding it, which is crazy because it's hard enough to disable one Idris, but you got another Idris guarding that Idris. So last night was just, I was like, why would you have 2 Idrises, one guarding the other? It's just, that makes it just insanely impossible.
Hopefully to have more people see it, but if it didn't work out, I think the intention there is good.
But but it wasn't like 2 missions. Their mission was 2 Idrises together. It's not like you're still going to see it to go and see that other one. It wasn't like they did one event after the other once it was destroyed. They just had one Idris escorting the other one.
Well, if
I don't. I said it earlier in chat.
If somebody boards one and leaves, you saw the opportunity to board the other one. That's what I mean. That might have been their intention.
Yeah. No, they just once the mission one ended, they ended it.
I will say that did lead to a pretty funny thing that I saw from Elliot on Twitter, which is apparently he hid in the cockpit, and then when someone came up to the pilot seat, he overdosed them with his med gun instead of killing them, which is very interesting. That's certainly a way to defend your bridge.
Dude.
But yeah, anything else, PC?
No, just
you
the
got,
last
you
thing
got to experience it. Did you enjoy the parts that you got to experience before you got murdered?
It was the main drive. I just wanted to see the interior mainly.
Yeah, yep.
Which I'm disappointed they didn't do. Like I said earlier, when people said why they don't have it on every server docked, and then once the mission starts, they can take that Idris away from the station and then activate it, like they do with the Javelin at the Invictus thing. Because I just wanted to see the interior. As soon as I got on the ship, I started running around trying to see it all before I got team killed.
Yo, who's Spade's Taco?
Who?
Look at Gen Chat in the game. I just saw this. Leave him alone, bitch. What are you? I recognize that name too.
You found your you found who was spying on you.
Yeah.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. I love it.
He's not on Twitch. I was about to ban him. But yeah, that's
all right. I will leave you. I've got to get back to doing my box missions in real life, so I will catch you guys.
There'll be more activity in Star Citizen soon.
My next customer.
Yeah. Hopefully your real world. Hopefully your real world deliveries are a little less bug filled.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Catch you there.
Cheers. Have a good one.
All right. I think that probably does it. I don't know. I don't think anybody else has popped in. I see 5-star at the top, but I think for me, I actually do need to cut it now.
Okay.
But
Lokefire, come back next week.
Yeah, let's get 5-star in for a couple minutes because he's a good friend of the show, and I think
5-star. How you doing?
I think he'll understand if I have to cut it kind of quick. What's up, 5?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
I haven't watched your video yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a cool one. There wasn't too much. Not the biggest patch, but there was some cool stuff in there.
So what do you want to chat about?
I wanted to talk about the Idris, man.
Let's do it.
My experience with it was not great.
Yep.
Basically, I just want to kind of talk about how I feel about it, because in a nutshell, I was super excited about this Idris mission for quite a while. I remember first hearing whispers about it. So it gets in the game, I get in a server with it, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I go and call out my friend Bognagus. So he gets his people, I get my people, we go together, we got a nice big group. We see it's by Magnus. We all jump over there, and the Idris just goes way above the star system, millions. So we chase this thing for
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah. So we chased this thing for 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. So we chased it for a while before we give up. And then that night, Xylo went on and updated the whole thing.
Contest rules, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, at least they made a point to it, to fix it. But I think that the thing that just bothers me, man, is like this really feels like something that marketing got their hands in. Because it could have easily just been like, hey, here's the Idris. We'll just put it on every server. Y'all go ahead, fight it, have fun. But I
what does
think they
marketing
kind of
have to
wanted to
do with that?
recapture.
That's
Because I
the
feel like
thing
they.
that
It's
I'm
the hype
struggling with.
building.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly the hype building.
Yeah,
from
but
them.
this is
like
doing the opposite. It's so bad. It's creating frustrations about it instead of like I know FOMO, but this is another level where it's got to be achieving the opposite. Nobody's having fun with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had a pretty good experience, but that's like a rare experience, you know.
Yeah, but I'm
I think
including that in like I was so lucky. Like think about all of the fail points that could have happened to me.
Oh yeah, true.
Like and
you didn't fall out of a ship.
It just didn't happen. Yeah, I didn't fall out of a ship. The ship was standing still because the guy couldn't move. That like how many people were like, I was almost there and the ship flew away. Like none of that stuff happened to me. I was insanely lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was such a cool watch. I gotta say that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I feel like they really wanted to capture that lightning in a bottle again from the FAC. And as soon as I saw that the Idris was on sale in the store, I was like, all right, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the Idris sale had enough of an impact. Like they would have made the same amount of money in the same amount of time selling the Idris without that event than with the event.
Yeah.
But it would have been exactly the same.
Exactly.
And so I
agree.
I don't think it's
2 minutes
related
before the event even started. It had no relevance.
Not actually. The sale started 2 hours after the event started. So the event started 12. Like I don't know what time it was you, but the event started midnight my time. The first sale started at 2 a.m. my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear I remember like the moment we were looking for the first Idris, they were like they're already sold out 2 minutes in. But time was
people were saying that, but it's because they thought because it always shows up as sold out. And so people were like, oh, it's already, but it hadn't actually been put up for sale yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, they would have sold them anyway. So it's like I don't think it's that kind of marketing target. I don't really know why they hyped it up as much as it was, other than just it's super cool. Unless it is just a case of they were confident that it was going to work and that it was going to be a fun event for everyone, and then it just wasn't. Which is probably the most realistic.
If you want to call this a marketing thing, it is a very, very early Squadron 42 marketing campaign buildup. That would be the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my feelings are just like because they put like a monetary incentive to win, people resorted to less than legitimate tactics. And I think I'm just mad about that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If there's a win condition, everybody's going to figure out the way to cheese it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that thing was like 22 mil above Magnus. I was like, oh,
yeah,
better gaming chair. Cool.
But you should. That's the thing. You should expect people to do that. You're putting up such a massive prize. You should expect it.
Yeah, we were doing something similar. We were jumping from point to point to point, and we were going to stop. We were just going to stop somewhere in hopes that nobody can get to us. Nobody would have gotten to us if there wasn't bodies in our walls. And we would have sat there. All of our party members would have joined our ship. We would have let them tour it. And then I don't know what we would have done. I probably would have done something similar to what I think it was Nebel, where they just went to an armistice zone and let people tour the ship. Right? That was my intention.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Was to let everybody, because I knew this opportunity would not come easy. So I would have probably said, all right, the guys who have been here on the ship for a while, leave the server. And let's get more people in. But then eventually somebody would have killed the pilot, and Among Us on the Idris would have happened. But
yeah, the ending was very poetic. I loved it.
The ending was sick. Yeah, I'll try to find that. I mean, the holding the bridge was sick, but the actual ship exploding, cool. I think that's right here, where we were just getting blasted by ballistics. You could see it, and it was just 07s, guys. It's over. Here it is.
I just remember you guys spinning.
Yep. Yeah, because I think it was Detox that rammed us because of the thing that PC was talking about. Door was closed for him, or open for him, but it was actually closed. BS. But
I'll tell you what I actually really wanted for this event and what I was really hoping just before it started. And 5-star, I'll get your opinion on it too. I really wanted this event to be, well, first off, like every server, but I just wanted it to be there is an Idris in the server. It is already disabled, go and board it. Now it's who controls it, right? Now it is a
Yeah.
PvP event. That's what I really, really wanted this event to be, and I hope that they can do something like that in the future.
I agree. That's exactly what I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting it to be just like that. I don't know. I think the whole like keep it and you get one kind of like turned it into a different thing. But yeah, I was just hoping there would be more of it. You know, like everyone would get the opportunity to, and not
Yeah.
like an FAC kind of deal.
Yeah. Even Mordor's in chat said this event was 100% shit. Mordor's was part of RAM, I believe, who were owning the F8C event. That was like every day there was another tweet about how they got another platinum ticket, and we're like trying to get their orgs the F8Cs and stuff. So like how do we fail even harder than that is funny to me, but they managed
The mission was better. The mission was better.
Yes.
The event was worse.
Yes.
And I think that's the crux of the whole thing, right?
Yeah. Sad. Very sad. But all right, 5-star. We shot you in here quick, but we gotta shoot you out. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yep. Thanks for doing what you do too. Guys, check out 5-star on YouTube if you haven't yet. All right. That I think probably does it for today. Anything popping in your mind? You want to touch on?
The only sort of stuff is like I am now a Discord channel.
Sorry.
The only thing that I'll sort of mention is, next week we do have an IOC apparently about the Idris interior. So in one form or another, we're all going to get to look at that next week. Yeah, okay. I believe that was what they mentioned at the end of SEL.
Cool.
And yeah, like I'm really happy with what I saw of the mission itself, and I just so desperately want to do it, and I know that everyone else does too. And so don't take like I think this event is already scuffed. Just don't take too long bringing us a better version of that.
Yes, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again, do it better. The only thing I want to touch on that we haven't touched on yet, distribution centers, SEL, the PvP question was answered.
Yeah. But also, in addition to that, the thing that I was talking about last week with distribution centers of the amount of them is going to make a lot of the issues that people have lessened is essentially true. There's going to be 13 on initial release. That is a big spread for a server. So it's you're not going to be PvPing every time you go there.
Yep. And when they say green zones, I believe they mean this. I'm in a green zone. I cannot pull a gun out.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe what they mean green zones means. So there are locations where it is armistice zone, hard armistice. And that's their and they made it very clear that's their temporary solution because they cannot fix the current griefing problem until the game
can't fix players.
Yeah, can't fix players until the game can deal with that for now, which they are making very clear that it's not ready for that. So they're going to do this, unfortunately, shitty solution until they can have the better one. And it's way better than no solution. And that's how I look at that is you have a place where people can chill out, and that's it. Green zone is the internal name for armistice. The problem with that, and this comes from DJ, who's a dev, the problem with that is there's two different types of green zones. There's the outside of Everus Harbor and the inside of Everus Harbor. They're two different things. I want to know what he meant by green zone in that context. I can shoot guns on the outside of Everus Harbor. I cannot shoot guns on the inside. So I'm sure we'll get that clarification one day, probably when we play it, and we'll see. But hopefully that's the case initially, so the cargo haulers can do their thing, and the risk will be the moment you leave the distribution center, which is kind of how it should be anyway. So there you go. All right. So I just wanted to touch on that because we missed it, but yeah.
And hopefully we'll get some Evocati news soon. We're hopefully approaching the first of public Evocati patches now that the patch is out. So
here we go.
Let's see.
Crazy.
Let's see.
I'm calling like mid-March for it. So we got a couple weeks. I think we got a couple weeks at least. But fingers crossed that's actually going to happen. Yeah. We'll get to talk about it. It'll be crazy. So with that, everybody, that's going to end the show. I've been SaltEMike. This is Croncy. Check us out on social media things. Croncy, you gonna start making more YouTube videos or what?
I made 2 this week.
Let's go.
I'm a good boy. One
There
of
we
them
go.
was garbage, but the other one was fine.
Yep, I haven't made any. I've been terrible. So don't forget, though. Don't forget to answer the call, guys.
Answer the call.